Would you like to listen to a story from my own life? It was a long time back, about 18, 19 years. I was new in the US, and me, along with my four other friends, we decided to go to Niagara Falls. And the return flight was early next morning. So we took a rental car and decided to drive back to the airport. I was the newbie driver, and three of my friends were drunk and tired and passed out in the back seat. The friend in the passenger seat was helping me with directions. We were broke, so we didn't have the GPS navigation system. We only had a paper map. And it was a cold October night, foggy, and I was nervous. So I ended up taking a wrong exit. And as soon as I took this exit, it felt like my friend and I, we were transported to this other dimension where all we saw around us was this graveyard and all these figures and spooky sights and skeletons and ghosts with blue light shooting out of their eyes. We were scared to death. You know what happened next? Well, aren't we all fascinated by stories? We only have to look at the entertainment industry to know that it's true. When we watch these movies or shows, we are sometimes riveted to the screens, just sitting at the edge of our seats, excited or nervous, sometimes even emotional, to the extent that we even became oblivious to our surroundings. And while there's no direct connection that we have with the storyline or the characters, once in a while we might find some similarities, but there is no direct connection as such. But we still are so vested in those stories. Imagine when we talk about our own lives, what kind of stories we are telling us, what narratives are running in our heads. And those stories run us. See what story you're telling yourself about your own life, your own identity. Does it go something like this? Life is always hard for me. I find it hard to fit in. My family does not understand me. My friends do not understand me. Will I ever find true success or true love or true meaning in life? Or is it something like money has always been tight for me? I'm not good with money. I'm not able to attract money. And when I have money, I'm not able to save it. I just end up losing all of the money or wasting it away. So, see what stories you're telling yourself, how these stories run, what identities you're creating and you're sticking to. Reality is so extensive. We have all this information coming at us from internet, from our external reality, from the people around us, that we cannot absorb all of this. So what happens is we filter the pieces that make sense to us, that make relevance to us. And how do we filter? Based on these narratives or stories that are running in our minds. So let's say if there's a person who feels that they're a misfit and people find them different or aloof, um, and they don't seem to fit with the rest of the society, and they go somewhere and someone offers them a compliment, hey dude, nice shoes. Do you think that individual will be able to accept that compliment? No, they would filter it based on the story that's running in their mind, that they are a misfit, and they might react with, oh, see, I shouldn't have bought those shoes. Now people are making fun of me. um, so, this is how we translate the information that comes to us based on these stories that are running in our minds. Investigate yourself and see what story you've been telling yourself. If the story serves you, if it moves you in the direction of your goals, then that's supportive. Keep telling yourself that story. But if it is not aligned with where you would want to go, If it does not empower you, if it makes you feel powerless, then investigate that story. There is no absolute truth in that story. It's based on the filters that you have been applying, the lens that you've been using, that you think that this story is true for you. Identify those narratives and see if it does not serve you, then how you can change it. And I agree, if there is something that you've been telling yourself for a long time, and you see it now and you try to change it, you might not be able to change it overnight because it has been ingrained for so long. But once you shine the light of awareness on it, something that was unconscious is now conscious. So now you can take some steps towards it so that you can change it. And next time that story pops into your mind, you can question it and not operate from that default programming. Instead, do something else, maybe look at other data points in the reality which do not corroborate that story. And that's how you collect evidence, and then you see that it's not 100% true, and you can change it to in a way so that it helps you in the future. So see what stories you're telling yourself. Something that happened in the past, it does not mean that it is supposed to happen again in the future. If we keep telling ourselves the same thing, then probably we will manifest the same thing in the future. But once we know that we are operating from default programming, we can change it. Instead of being on autopilot, we can come up with own strategies and use them to our own advantage. Because if we do not own our stories end up owning us. So see what stories you're telling yourself. And my own story, where we took that turn, my friend and I finally ended up on the highway and made our way back to the airport. So all was well. And we found out later that we had actually taken the exit, which ended in a residential neighborhood where that was all Halloween decorations. So something which was a horror story for me, which felt like I am in this graveyard, turned out to be an innocent residential street where people were celebrating this fun holiday of Halloween, which is like the most exciting holiday for the kids here in US, and they look forward to it because it's a day full of candy for them. So, see what stories you're telling yourself. Are the stories like, I'm caught in this horror story where I'm surrounded by ghosts and I do not know how to escape? Or are you telling the story about, wow, it's a fun holiday and it's a candy party? So, choose the story that serves you and tell yourself good stories. Good luck.